Good evening, everybody. It's Tom Stoukas coming to you from Sarnia, Ontario. Today, Tuesday, September 9th. I hope everybody's had a nice day. Uh, yeah, crazy stuff happening. It feels so weird. It feels like everything's going to shit. I say that all summer, but now I'm saying it in September. But what do we got first here? We got in, yeah, crazy stuff. So obviously, we got the problems in Canada with the that international mobility program, that temporary foreign workers program. Countries flooded with immigrants, probably more than we've been led to believe. So yeah, doesn't look like there's gonna be an easy solution for that. And then more footage from that grisly, horrible murder in Charlotte, North Carolina, in the subway, where the poor woman was brutally stabbed to death by some crazy black guy, career criminal, crazy looking guy. And I guess there was another crime just today. Like a guy in New York State robbed a couple, an old couple, and set their house on fire. And he was a career criminal too. So it's almost like they want a race war in the States or something. It's getting pretty crazy. And then I guess there's this Canada First rally this Saturday in Toronto. And I don't know how Canada First it is, because the guy who's organizing it wanted us to be the 51st state not too long ago. So, and it kind of coincides with there's protests in Great Britain on the 13th with the similar theme, like kicking out, like stopping in mass immigration. But even there in England, in UK, it's Tommy Robinson, who's more of a Zionist Mossad agent than fighting for UK. But so I'm not too keen on these guys leading they're sort of like gatekeeping us on the freedom front, you know. As long as you're pro-Israel, everything else is secondary. So we'll see on Saturday if they get any good turnout there in England and in Canada. And then another thing, Barrie, the city of Barrie, which is north of Toronto, declared a state of emergency, which is basically the town's overrun with homeless people and drug addicts, and they can't handle it, and it's destroying the way of life up there. So there's Doug Ford's Ontario, right by Toronto, a city failing. I'm sure Sarnia won't be far behind on the state of emergency. We're turning into a shit town, like literally people sleeping in the parks, homeless shelters overflowing, drug addicts all over the place, businesses closed, not reopening. Like, I was taking my kids for a walk the other day. It was like 8 o'clock at night. Wasn't a school night, so we went for a little night walk. There's people sleeping in the playground. You can't even take the kids to the playground. So, Doug Ford's Ontario. And then he said something today, like, about kids complaining about can't find a job, and he says they need to try harder. And this is coming from a guy, obese guy, who basically lived off his daddy's money his whole life. His dad was a successful businessman, a well-liked politician, and yeah, pretty sure Doug Ford is where he is today because of his daddy, and he rode the coattails of his brother Rob Ford. So when he says that stuff like that, it just shows the guy's true character. But the one thing he said good is he wants to get rid of speed cameras, which is horrible. Like, they shouldn't be in Ontario. Instead of proliferating, they should be gone. So, I mean, he's a total moron. I hate him. He's a traitor. But, just because he's right on one thing, and it's kind of low hanging fruit, like 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 cutting off the sticker renewal price costs. You know, it's just a little like, or the $200 given. It's just to shut people up, basically. So when he says about the no cameras, it's just an easy way to shut the masses up. Like give them a little, throw them a bone, basically. So let's look at what the daily feed on X was for me today. It's kind of depressing. I'm not gonna lie. The start of the day. Nothing too much. Not too much uplifting stuff, unfortunately. Oh, another one. I think another thing that happened today is they nuked the ferryman's toll. Who's the guy? Ferryman's toll. Anyway, I know his real name. I can't remember it, but they nuked his account, which is hopefully it's not a sign of things to come, but it probably is. And we'll see if he gets his account back, or if it's nuked permanently. So, okay, let's just go through this quick. So, people say like, "Oh, you're sounding racist. You don't want people from Africa and third world countries, India, coming to Canada." And all they do is concentrate on color. I don't. They only see color. I see culture, which is the whole thing. And I believe the cultures are totally incompatible. They can lots of room in Africa. So anyway, look at this dude in France. Migrant on a train has asked for his ticket. He shows he has defecated on his hand. That's disgusting. I'd fucking puke. Oh God. I don't know if this is real, but if it is, it's disgusting. They're like, anyway. It's just like third world shit, man. It's third world shit. We don't need it. We don't want it. Mass deportations have to start immediately to get rid of these savages. And what else? What are you going to call them? I'm not afraid to call them savages. That's savage behavior right there. Okay, now this a little Indian fatigue in Ontario. I'm feeling the Indian fatigue. I got neighbors. They just moved in. They're Indians. They're loud as fuck. Like, when they're in the backyard, it's like 50 Indians talking at the top of their lungs. And if they start getting the Indian music going, I'm screwed. So this guy is on the beach. Canadian man slams Indian family for playing loud music. So they have no consideration for other people, and they are the most rude, entitled, and arrogant migrants. In this video, a Canadian man complains because Indians have left a very loud speaker blasting foreign music out on the beach and then left the area to go swimming. Well, everyone else has to listen to it. No, hold on. Sorry. I don't know what's wrong with my...
Everyone within 150 feet has to listen to this. Great job, City of Barrie.
So this is in Barrie.
For example, come on down, blast whatever kind of music you want at whatever level you want. These people are not even here, yet everyone within 150 feet has to listen to this. Great job, City of Barrie. But heaven forbid, I play guitar to raise money for the Barrie Food Bank and Bob Rumble Deaf Foundation. That's a no-no. Hey, come on down and blast whatever kind of music you want. You don't even have to stick around. Go play in the water. Well, everyone else has to listen to it. Not happy. Just another example. Come on down, blast whatever kind of music you want at whatever level you want.
All right. The fatigue is growing. It is growing. It's not just the Indian thing. It's just the whole immigration thing. Like when you bring in such a disparate culture en masse, it's of course. So the fatigue is growing. Next, also there's a Conor McGregor, like, because Ireland has a lot of the same problems Canada does: traitor government, mass immigration, all the woke shit. And Conor McGregor, the UFC fighter, wants to run for president, and everybody's like, oh, he's gonna come in and kick some ass, but I think he might be just like a fake candidate. Like, he's a really pro-Israel candidate, so I'm a little suspicious. And like, he's so blackmailable for the Mossad, because he partied like crazy, this guy. So also he supported the lockdowns during the COVID, so I don't know if he's going to be the savior they think he will be. There's another Tommy Robinson, the guy who's having the rally in UK. He's a big time Zionist. They always push these Tommy Robinson types, and we have them here in Canada, to try to hijack conservative movements. So they're gatekeeping us. Okay, we can't be racist. We can't criticize Israel. That's how they gatekeep. They do it in the US, they do it in the UK, and they do it all over Europe. Phase 2 is when then they send you off again to fight and die for Israel. So yeah, I'm a little suspicious of these gatekeepers. All right. And the guy who's doing the Canada First thing on Saturday, he's a gatekeeper, because he's very pro-Israel, pro-Zionist, focuses only on Muslims instead of the millions of Indians and Africans coming. Only Muslims they demonize. And obviously, they don't mind Indians and Sikhs as long as they have our values. Oh, and as long as they're not Muslim, that's all. So we got to watch out for these gatekeepers. Next, I just finished this book on Stalin, and I was shocked how crazy Stalin, how like summary executions just every day in the Soviet Union. So when the Bolsheviks were in power, it was when it was Lenin and the Bolsheviks, they did the terror, they killed millions. And then when Stalin took over, he did his own terror and killed millions. And yeah, we never got taught anything about Stalin. It was always Hitler, Hitler, Hitler. Hitler's bad, he's the worst ever. But Stalin, he killed way more people in his own country and in other countries. Raped half of Germany. Just so much bad stuff he's done. And we barely hear anything, because of course he was our ally in the war. And there's always these arguments why we were allies with him and all this, but whatever. The guys, I couldn't believe how crazy, just shooting everybody. And he knew they were in it. He didn't care. He was just paranoid. He wanted to get rid of them. Just a crazy ass. So I don't like it when, they only push certain people like Hitler. But when the communist side, like Stalin, Mao, Pol Pot, they've killed millions more than the Nazis, but we don't hear anything about them. I thought that was weird. There's more Connor stuff. This is this guy explaining Connor.
Zionist cult has to come and control you.
And this happens in Canada too.
The same as many other prominent figures. You become too big and too influential, so the Zionist cult has to come and control you. Just like they do with politicians and celebrities through blackmail. If you don't conform, it starts with bad publicity, then moves to a rape charge, and then legal battles until you finally agree to serve their agenda. So now that his rape charge has been dusted to the side, he's being invited to the White House. He's running for the Irish presidency and calls to support Israel when they're the ones invested in all the major NGOs responsible for the very illegal immigration that he claims he wants to fight back in Ireland. It's ridiculous. But like Albert Pike said, whenever the people need a hero, we shall supply him. So it's our job to know who these so-called heroes are really working for, and it's our job to keep them accountable.
True lockdown must begin, and it must begin now.
Yep. So, Tommy Robinson's
Connor is the same as many other.
Tommy Robinson's the same style. Like he acts like he's all Britain first, and he, you know, he never mentions the part of all the Jewish NGOs that are facilitating all these refugees coming in England, plus all the refugees created by Israel's wars. That's all ignored. We don't talk about any of that. Same here in Canada. We have Ezra Levant, and this Puck Daddy guy. Here's another Pierre. He's been tough on immigration. I think he has any credibility on it. It's ridiculous, and a lot of people remember all his statements, but a lot of people choose to ignore it. So do not forget Pierre Poilievre has contributed to the problem of mass migration. He fails to address the International Mobility Program, which accounted for 85% of temporary migrants in 2021 and 60.5% in 24. Canadians never needed Indian cooks, nor did they need their so-called conservative leadership to advocate for such. Let's see, I saw this video.
People to sustain. Was it all really just a big...
Yeah, but they don't serve any customers in their restaurant because they have no cook. You can't get the cooks. You can't get a restaurant. So to get our economy firing on all cylinders, we need to quickly process economic immigration.
Oh, of
So
course.
here's a tweet from the same podcast host, and he's voicing his support for Pierre's call to an end of the temporary foreign worker program. First off, it's good that Pierre's finally touching on this issue, but Canadians deserve much better than a 5-year farewell transition plan, and we also deserve the international mobility plan to be addressed. Secondly, Canada was always going to be okay without Indian cooks. Like, does India give out PR status to Canadians to become poutine cooks? We simply can't have people scamming their way through the system to become
It has nothing to do with
citizens.
jobs.
Why open a business if you feel the need to import people to sustain? Was it all really just a big immigration scam in the first place? Remember, this is what the so-called conservative leadership has contributed to.
It's a scam. It's a total scam because even some Indian guys have been charged with like trafficking under these programs, because what they do is they basically auction off the spots to bidders. They bring them here, and they basically own the people because they probably owe money. So they're probably staying at their accommodations. Like they're probably provided accommodations. So they're basically slaves, and they can't say anything because they'll be sent back to India. So that's what these programs promote: just total slavery, and flood our markets, housing market and job market and health care and all that. So it's just horrible. And the Conservatives have been just as bad on this as the Liberals. The fact that they didn't even mention it during the election, like, it's slop now. To mention it now, it's slop. It's useless. They needed to mention it leading up to the election and during the election, not 6 months after the election. Next, another thing from Paris of another savage. And this video bugged me because this chick is standing up to this savage who's trying to steal her bag, and the guys all around are just sitting there, probably shitting their pants because they're pussies. And this is a big problem. I see so many videos where the white dudes, are just sitting there while women get beat up, raped, robbed, or another white dude gets robbed. And it doesn't help that the government will charge you if you, let's say you beat up a migrant who's acting like a savage, and you'll get charged by your own government. So it's kind of messed up. It's kind of a combination of cowardice by the guys and discouragement from the government. The woman's brave though. So this son of a bitch comes to the metro.
rien à foutre, vas-y, bouge.
Baisse les tailles. No, baisse les tailles. Baisse les tailles.
Je m'en fous, je comprends pas ce que tu dis, je m'en fous, tu touches pas à mon sac.
You wanna say my pig on a bongo, my sac? Baisse les tailles.
Yeah.
D'accord? Bouge.
No, no, no. Baisse les tailles.
T'es sérieux là?
He thought he was just going to walk away with it or something. Anyway, it's horrible, and it's really bad for the women, especially because that's the ones who are suffering from these. You know, a lot of the cultures where these guys come from, it's like they treat women like shit. So they're bringing that here, and I feel bad for the women. I think we got to do more to protect the women. Next, Dominion Society. Once the International Mobility Program, the IMP is an alternative pathway to admit temporary workers into Canada. Employers are not required to even prove a foreign worker is necessary through local market assessment. In 2024, 8 times as many foreigners entered Canada through the IMP versus the TFW. And Pierre's criticizing the TFW and not saying a word about the IMP. So, there you go. It's all slop. Next. This is the dude who's doing the September 13th rally in Toronto. And I'm not trying to shit on him because nothing bugs me more than people just sitting around and complaining and not doing anything. So I guess he is trying to do something, but not too long ago he was saying 51st state. So it's like, this is supposed to be the leader of the first movement. And when was this? February. So yeah, not long ago at all. So I supported Trump over Kamala. I was hoping he would stop wars and stuff, and he's disappointed. But after he started doing the Canada bullshit, you know, I kind of like, my opinion of him has dropped. This guy, he was ready to join up 51st state, but now he's leading the Canada First thing. It's kind of weird, and also he's very pro-Zionist. Apparently he might even be Jewish too, which is fine, I guess, but he does attack, all he does is attack Muslims. And it's like, I want to send the Muslims back too, but I want to send the Indians back, I want to send the Africans back. I don't just demonize Muslims. And the Muslims, at least, you know, they got bombed to shit. That's why they're here. Most of them, the Indians and the Africans are just here because their countries are shitholes. At least the Muslims have an excuse. They got bombed shit for the last 40 years. So yeah, that's the guy leading the. I mean, obviously we need some protests against the government, but I don't see this guy. He never gets a big crowd either. I don't think a lot of people like him. We'll see. Next, there's Tamara Litch. She spent more time in jail than many violent criminals in Canada, including repeat offenders. Yes, that's true. A lot of savages walking around while Tamara was sitting in jail. And Pat King too. All right, here we go. More of this. CPC is so focused on the Temporary Foreign Workers Program. Why are they silent on the International Mobility Program and the IMP? Yes, because I said, like Michelle Rempel Garner's talking every day about immigration and she's shaming businesses, and Pierre's talking about it. But I said it's slop. It's useless slop what they're talking about, because if they really meant it, they would have talked about it before the election and during the election. Like a year before the election minimum and during the election, but they didn't. So now to talk about it now is slop. They have no credibility, and they criticize and propose changes to the TFW, which won't take place until at least 3 years for the next. By the time the next election comes and they get in and do everything, so it's slop. It's useless slop. You know, I think he has no credibility. Nobody expects him to do anything. Okay, it's just enough. He's throwing bones to the people to shut him up. That's what the slop is. Next, this is a Brampton landlord filming his house after the Indian students left. This is true. I've seen I just had to. I happened to have the opportunity. For some reason, I had to bring somebody to his house, and it was a bunch of Indians. And this is exactly how their house looked in Sarnia. It was horrible. Like they had just garbage everywhere. It was disgusting. And I was like, man, they're gonna have rats in there, no problem. So yeah, it's times that by a million households of students, because I guess they don't have their mamas to clean up after them, the Indian boys. Next, this is funny too. They have the premier approvals, the monthly approvals, I think, and Doug Ford's they're at 41%. I don't think that's a great number, but I think it's still high. For a guy who's been there 8 years, he's probably only going to go down. But yeah, even the fact that it's that high, after he basically destroyed Ontario the last 8 years, I don't know. Ontario's screwed with these voters, man. Oh. A lot of people in Ontario don't vote either, so. Here, this is funny. In Nepal, the government did some stuff. They wanted to ban the social media and criticism, kind of like they want to do here. And the people weren't having it. So they basically ransacked the parliament. They've attacked ministers. They've killed ministers. They attacked the prime minister. It's crazy. They don't mess around. Hold on one sec. So yeah, look at that. That's the parliament. Can you imagine that in Canada? If they shut the internet, they don't mess around. Citizens in Nepal set their parliament on fire after communists moved to ban social media. Will the Liberals go full steam ahead on censorship? They probably will. I think it's coming. I think it's coming in Canada. Next. So this is the horrible footage from the subway murder in Charlotte. Before they only showed him stabbing, like ready to stab her, and then they cut it off. And now it's seen, they showed the rest of it, and it's horrible because she didn't die quick, like she bled out. And the people around her, which are all black people apparently, none of them lifted a finger to put pressure on the wound, or they just looked around, and maybe they were in shock, maybe they were afraid the guy was going to come back and try to finish her. But yeah, she bled out, and it'd be interesting to see if a doctor, when they do the autopsy, if they say, oh, could she have been saved if she had was there any way to save her, or was it she was screwed no matter what? But a lot of people are criticizing the people around her that didn't do anything to help her. It's horrible, 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 horrible. I don't even want to look at it, but it's weird how she's like in shock. She doesn't know what just happened. She's bleeding. And she's in shock, and everybody just sitting there. Look at that. They saw what happened, all of them.
I was going to say, at one point in time,
It's crazy. Savage shouldn't even be allowed near civilization. He was arrested like 14 times or something. Next. Here's Pierce talking about immigration again. Let's see what he says.
People 3 times faster than homes and jobs. The rest of the world is looking at us and saying, how did the Liberals screw this up so badly? They've been adding people 3 times faster than homes and jobs, which has created shortages. They brought in too many too fast. They've allowed massive abuses of the international student, temporary foreign worker, and asylum claim system, with rampant fraud that happened right under
Should
their
have
nose.
said this during the election.
And as a result, our youth can't find jobs or homes. And so it is very sad that the Liberals have been able to destroy the system so badly in such a short time. Mark Carney promised to be different. Instead, he's worse. He's kept Justin Trudeau's immigration numbers. He's allowing corporations to bring in a record number of temporary foreign workers this year at a time when youth employment numbers are their worst in 3 decades. So while our young people can't find jobs, employers are able to exploit temporary foreign workers by giving them lower wages and terrible working conditions. Let me be clear. Immigrants are not to blame for this mess. They simply followed the rules.
Yeah, I don't think they follow the rules. I think they bleed us dry.
They just want to have a better life. And in many cases, they are the victims
No, they're not
of
the
a
victims.
system that abuses and rips them off at the same time as destabilizing our housing, job market, and social services. So the blame does not rest with immigrants or with the broader Canadian population. It is 100% the result of reckless and irresponsible Liberal decisions. Our approach will be to end the temporary foreign worker program so that Canadian jobs go to Canadian workers, to bring the numbers down, bring in the right numbers and the right people to fill jobs we actually need to have filled, for which there are no Canadians, to keep criminals out of this country by having stronger security standards at our borders, and always and everywhere to put Canada first in all of our immigration decisions.
Yeah, so, yeah, he basically just talked about refugee student visas and TFW, but he didn't talk about, like, the legal immigration, like the millions that they're letting in legally on, like, permanent residence and family reunification. I mean, it's good he's saying that stuff, but like I said, should have said it during the election. It's kind of ridiculous. And he was actually saying the opposite. So not only was he not saying, he was saying the opposite before the election. So, and he won't say the word remigration ever. He'll never say it. There's this video again, yeah. So he slashed her neck, and I think she was in such shock that. But everybody's just standing there. Holy shit! Look at the blood dripping. Yeah, it's horrible, man. Okay, next. This is Nepal again. Nepalese protesters burned the Prime Minister's residence. They burned the Parliament and the Prime Minister's residence to the ground, shortly before burning Parliament down and overthrowing the government. This after the government switched off social media apps that were revealing corruption. They mean business in Nepal. They don't mess around. I saw videos of like the finance minister getting dragged into a river and the wife of a big official getting murdered. It was crazy. Nepal. I thought they were one of those chill people that climb the Himalayas or something. What are they called? Gurkhas or something? Next. Barrie. This is interesting. Barrie has declared a state of emergency. So while Doug Ford is going around Ontario saying how great things are, the mayor of Barrie is declaring a state of emergency, and I'm sure a lot of other mayors would agree or might even consider doing the same. Mayor Alex Nuttall declares a state of emergency in Barrie, Ontario, because of the crimes, homeless encampments, and drugs, which are all supported by activist judges and weak laws. Liberals are turning Canada into a third world country. Yes, I've been saying that. It's going to happen in Sarnia too. Let's see what he says.
We'll address the problem from the ground up. Today I'm announcing that I've declared a state of emergency in the city of Barrie, as I requested the former administration to do. While we wait for the county's long-term plan to be implemented, the city of Barrie is immediately instituting the state of emergency to reclaim our streets, our boulevards, our parks, our squares, our feeling of safety, and our order. While this order will not appoint federal judges that protect the rights of citizenry to live in a free and lawful society, it will address the problem from the ground up.
So I'm not sure exactly how state of emergency works. Like, is it just like, I don't know. Does it mean more money, or I don't know how it works for like a city. But it's pretty bad, I guess, if you're declaring a state of emergency. Like I said, in Sarnia, it's the same. There's people sleeping everywhere. You can't even take your kids anywhere without having to run into that shit. All right. This is Doug Ford saying he wants municipalities to get rid of automated speed cameras, or else he will. Calls them nothing more than a cash grab for the city. See, this is a thing. He probably, his handlers probably polled it and said this is a very popular thing to get rid of the cameras, and it's an easy thing to do. It's like a low-hanging fruit for him, throwing the people a bone like he did the $200 and when he canceled the sticker renewal fee. I mean, it's good. I hate cameras. I hate speed cameras. I think they're the most horrible thing. But I don't think he's doing it because he cares. I think he's doing it just to, shut people up. And it works. When he gave people $200 before an election, that shit works. Next, there's Vivek. He's running for governor in Ohio. He's saying the same thing Pierre is. Build the houses. Build more homes to reduce housing costs. And I hate when these politicians, not just in Canada, but in the U.S., they say, we need to build more homes. My opponent hasn't built enough homes. They're standing in the way of building more homes. But really, I see lots of homes getting built in every city. The problem's not building homes. It's you're letting in way too many people. So maybe start mass deportations and shutting the border, and you the home building will keep pace because they're building homes. I drive everywhere I go, every city I go, they're building new subdivisions. So the only reason they can't keep up is because they're letting tons of people in. So, but the politicians like Pierre, I think he says it too here. Pierre Poilievre, here we go. CMHC, Liberal government, the Liberal government's housing agency, it's a government housing agency, reports Toronto housing starts have collapsed to the lowest level since 1996. This after Carney promised to double home building. We need to axe the sales tax and capital gains tax and speed up permits to build fast and affordably. So when a politician says we need to build fast homes and my opponent's not building fast enough, they're basically saying, we're not going to stop immigration. We're just going to build more homes. That's how we're going to fix the problem. So I hate it. I hate listening to that. Because, Trudeau's, all he says, build the homes. Now, Pierre says, build the homes. Instead of deport, I say instead of build the homes, we should deport. So any politician, that's the code. When you hear build homes, it means any politician who says we need to build more homes instead of deport is probably a traitor. I believe. I do. Because they're willfully deceiving you. They're saying the problem is the reason you can't afford a house, you can't afford to rent a decent place, or you can't afford to buy a decent little house is because there's not building enough homes fast enough. They're lying. They're lying right to your face. The real thing is they're letting in millions of people who are taking those homes. Do you know how many homes in Sarnia have been taken and driving the cost of rent up? It's the same in every city. So yeah, when I hear politicians say, build more homes, it's like, it has nothing to do with building more homes, man. So you're liars, you're traitors, all that. Next. This is maybe a sign of things to come. Ferryman's Toll. One of the largest Canadian nationalist accounts on X just got banned. Elon Musk, is this a free speech platform, or have you started to play ball with the infamously woke and tyrannical Canadian government? Yes, Elon's been very quiet on Canada. He's been very vocal on German politics, UK politics, American politics for sure. But he hasn't said shit about Canada. Like, very, very little about Canada. I mean, are we that boring, Elon? You're a half Canadian, man. Come here. Invest in, I know you want to invest in a commie country, but at least get this guy's account back. Jesus. So I don't even know why they suspended him, but he is part of that Second Sons nationalist group, which people freak out over. So that's probably why they nuked his account. So Elon here, he did say something in 23 about Trudeau trying to crush free speech in Canada. So hopefully he remembers what he tweeted. And this is a good one. Doug Ford opens his mouth, puts his foot in it again. So basically he's saying young people who can't find work, said that today, aren't looking hard enough. Premier Doug Ford said Tuesday, less than a week after Statistics Canada reported Ontario shed 26,000 jobs in August, the most of any province. So he's probably getting asked all the time about youth unemployment. So he's probably sick of getting asked. So he said, stop complaining, they're not working hard enough. But like I said, Doug Ford's dad was a very successful businessman. Doug Ford wasn't, okay? And he basically, that was his only job before he got into politics, was working for his dad's company. And yeah, he might have been competent at running the company, but he didn't create it. He didn't set it up. He didn't have to go look for a job ever. So it's kind of callous of him to talk like that. But he is a fat pig traitor, so, what do you expect? There he is. Says the fat fuck who got everything handed to him by his daddy. Literally. The politics, his dad got into politics before him and his brother. So his dad had all the connects for him ready. He had all the money ready. All the campaign support ready. They even had their own printing company, so he could print all the signs he wanted. So, yeah, Doug Ford, maybe you want to sit that one out. Okay. There's the Second Sons. These are the guys, they freaking people out. I don't think they're doing anything wrong, to be honest, at all. Nothing at all. But, he got nuked, his ferryman. One of the more likely reasons I was banned was because I was advocating for Second Sons. There is a reason that almost all in real life nationalist groups and their leaders are eventually banned from this site. They don't care if you complain, as long as you don't organize. Yes, he's right. The minute you start doing stuff, they either compromise you or ban you. And then I just saw this. This is New York PD issues dire warning as manhunt launches for armed career criminal accused of torturing, killing elderly New York City couple. So he basically broke into their house, killed them, and set them on fire. And he's like the guy in Charlotte, he's a repeat offender. And I'm pretty sure the couple he killed were a white couple because they've been there 40 years. So they raised a family there, so it's probably a white couple. So it's like, what the hell? Are they trying to start a race war in the States? Like, what's going on down there? It's crazy. And how are these guys allowed to roam the streets and kill? Like, the police know the guys, the repeat offenders, they know them all. So it's not that hard to find them and round them up and not let them run the streets. But obviously, they're being let out. It's almost like letting the dogs out, right? To destroy everything. And they're doing a good job of it. So yeah, lots of crazy stuff. So we'll see what happens. I don't know. We'll see. What'll happen the next week with this Canada First stuff, with the nuking accounts, murders, everything. Oh, so the next broadcast will be September 12th, Friday. We'll cover all the happenings. Until then, have a nice night. Stay cool.